Who's getting the pog? Coach Kim.
Effort.
All right.
Yeah.
I actually think this is going to be a game where a lot of the hooks are going to land because Destiny Gate plus Gold Card means that everyone travels a really long way, especially if Cuz is there. Showstopper comes in again. Afterwards, you might just happen to be in the enemy fountain from mid lane.
So, I feel like it's very hard for Gen G to actually play mid and late game against Blitzcrank because there's so many pull targets that are actually very high value. It invalidates the Tahm Kench. Tahm was picked in isolation for the Twisted Fate, but that's not how draft works. So, came out really early. It left them susceptible to what has ended up happening now with Blitz and Ornn are just super good in a spot like this. And so, Azir and Aphelios, I mean, they can stand tall, but for what? There's no clear line of engage, and you're asleep if you think Lee Sin is going to create those paths for you.
Unless we see Clid play the same kind of Lee Sin that we saw in a recent series, where he was able to create the right amount of chaos in the early game, make it look like the LPL Lee Sin that Clid was known for in the past. But I hazard a guess that this is looking very scary for Gen G.
Yeah. I think this is a good enough draft for
afterwards, because he only got halfway through and then it killed his eyesight. And he's like, yeah, but I was really getting into it. And speaking of getting into it, he's looking to try and attack Cuz here at his blue buff, and Clid has a big health advantage. Okay, Cuz going to walk on back forward. He's got a lot of grit at level 2 here. As, Clid takes a fair bit of damage. Faker looking for a fat flash over the wall. He gets it. Clid's going to try and flash out of the way as Cuz in right behind him. And Clid has decided
against the enemy team comp, as well as those resistances early in the lane. Lots of good synergy here because you get to just convert mobility into damage. And
we're going to ring around the Rosie as Q's going to land there onto Cuz from Clid. Canna fighting off against Rascal here. Only level 5 for both of these top laners. Good knock up there, but the W keeps Rascal alive, and Faker says, thank you very much. I'll help pick up that assist, and Canna walks away with the second kill for T1.
Yeah. And this, oh, beautiful. So he doesn't even immediately shove. He's just going to recall. And if he would end up shoving and Rascal TPs onto the minion wave, then he gets trapped inside of the lane. So instantly recalls, teleports to the turret, playing it. Bomby Cinder, man.
It's summer, dude.
Now he can't freeze the wave. If he didn't build bombies, he could have just went into that and said, hey, Mordekaiser, you actually have to stay here to escort the wave. And in doing so, if Kana takes down the whole wave, he's almost level 6. And then if he trades with Mordekaiser gets low, he gets him into the Ornn combo threshold.
리신 싸움 났다.
I mean, I just
천천히 볼게 이거.
cannot fathom what that Lee Sin Q was on Descent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because he's there with
넘어봐.
one mission in mind.
나이스. 빼자.
Yeah, just looked a little bit too easy here as we're going to go for one more. Clid finding yet another Q, but he's a level behind and he decides to go aggressive. Don't know in what world where that's ever going to work out. This was decently played by Rascal to utilize his W, but you're not going to go 1 versus 3, and Clid wasn't offering enough. Much safer, as Cuz is going to come in. And Kellen just going to flash his way out, and Ruler absolutely no place to go. Showstopper comes in. Teddy probably going to be delivered this kill as there's the bullet time, and somehow Ruler's going to survive. There's the Moonlight Vigil, but they dive it, and Faker's going to have his stopwatch. I don't know whether it was entirely necessary after the tribute, but better to be safe than sorry. T1 continue their onslaught.
Yeah.
Already more kills than the first 38 minutes of game 1.
Well, Ripchild's going to be summoned in mid. Is going to manage to get all of the turret plates, actually. Ornn is not going to be able to move down whatsoever, so Gen G are fighting back a little bit, and that's very big to actually get this.
Yeah,
onto
mid-outer is
Fate.
huge.
Yeah. Mordekaiser even here. Oh,
whoa, that's the 3-man face breaker as Faker's in there. Rascal grabs him into the Death Realm, but has to use the W to keep himself alive there. Death Realm, not exactly the optimal choice, as Effort looking for a hook. Ooh, I like the try.
Yeah, and now
are available. And so Gen G has to be very careful with how they set up for this one. Ruler is very close range. got Draven more at the moment. And,
Uh-oh, Kana got 13.
yeah, and he's looking for an ult from behind. There we go, he's going to land this ram. Is it stolen, in fact, from Clid? He safeguards, tries to get himself out, and does get hit as well. The bullet time is just extraordinary, though, and Faker finds Clid in the back line. BDD trying to save him, throws out some Sand Soldiers that don't really do enough as the wild cards are avoided. Rascal looking for effort, but the Death Realm runs out, and now it's a 2 versus 1 that he doesn't want to deal with. MF gets yet another kill, 3,000 damage in the team fight as Faker still hunting for the Gen G mid laner and jungle. BDD steals one away, but that's the only kill that they've got in this team fight. Faker finishes off Clid, and Teddy will grab the bird. And T1, this might just be enough to win them the game.
That is a massive victory for them right now. They end up getting an ace.
Yeah.
Basically over the opponent, so it ends up being a 5-for-1. They did lose the mountain, which is it's, you know, a decent amount of gold.
Yep, slows down the soul too, yeah.
But let's take a look at this one more time. So, Clid with the very clutch Dragon Kick into the Smite Steal. Kana goes for Aphilio, steals the damage, but Kellen manages to get the Devour, and then an insane Face Breaker with the bullet time. Pay attention to Effort in this fight, because Rascal, he thinks he's getting away, but then Effort channels his Scorpion and tells him to get over here.
Yeah.
As it looks like his teammates just didn't think Effort could get it.
And it was about who was the better Scorpion there as well, because of course Death Grasp has a very get over here vibe to it.
Faker, wild cards, ends up hitting the 7-10 split.
Oh, and the minions.
As the minions had enough.
Yeah. They were done. They were happy to step in. As we were talking about Zhonya's Paradox, Faker has the Hourglass already completed. Cannot Forge Fire Cape, as well as his super sweet Abyssal Gas Mask. And,
well,
Gen G, look, we could still have a game like Game 1, right? It could still happen.
Oh.
But T1, it feels like they are way further ahead than Gen G were. And look at all this standing gold that's on the map. They've only taken 2 turrets. They're in fact even. When it comes to the turrets at the moment, this outer turret will be going down very shortly.
The thing is that for the next mountain fight, it's not only a 4,000 gold lead, it's the ornaments are going to come in for teammates as well.
Oh, true.
And so all of that is going to get stacked on top. Very sad that Set doesn't build an ornament. This is actually one of the interesting games where... Okay.
Gen G looking for this one as Faker diving in onto Ruler towards the top side. He should be able to take down this outer turret if he wants to keep chasing.
Oh, man.
There's the Ornhorn. Kana going to lock down the Lee Sin. He's going to fall very quickly as Rascal now does have his Death Realm, but he's not going to be able to face off against Teddy, who just obliterates the Mordekaiser before he can do anything. And Gen G, I mean, you do have to try and go for some of these Hail Mary plays, but it just wasn't enough to really get anything done. And Ruler, he's at a 3rd health. I don't know whether he's going to be able to stop T1 from just taking this Baron.
Well, it looks like T1, they're going to start this up. Clid is up in 4, even with Home Guard. I do not think he's going to be able to get there in time. Ornn is tanking. You can see Effort. I mean, the thing is that Effort can fish for a hook, and anyone's dead if they get pulled.
Well,
see you later.
Kellen, he's just going to be exploded. As in goes BDD, he gets the sweep, but he's not going to be able to get the Baron, and he gets out as well, actually, somehow.
Yeah. That was a nice attempt.
After Ruler. Yeah, it was.
That was a genuinely nice thought to try to Shurima shuffle and then take it down with the Sand Soldiers. And so let's take a look at how this all transpired. No clue what Kellen was thinking on this play. Ruler forced to flash away from Faker. Turret was living, but then a really nice Ornal, and then again, Effort. Straight out of Mortal Kombat, man. With his Blitzcrank pulls. And that's what we talked about in the draft phase, is that Blitzcrank is amazing. He can completely deconstruct any phalanx attempt by Gen G. Every champion they have is prone to it. So, just a really, really good pick. And he's utilizing it so well, combined with Cuz to set so many things up for his teammates. Magi Soul Stealer on Faker.
Oh no, they're bullying Clid now. They were like, you left us. We are going to punish you for it. Teddy in the mid lane. He's going to take down this inner turret. And the game number 1, that was a nail biter. That was close. T1 stole it away, but I think they stole some mental fortitude while they were there. Zephyr is going to get pulled back. This is the hook onto Kellen. Definitely a good hook target. Make It Rain comes down. Rascal in a bit of trouble. As Death's Grasp not going to do anything, and T1 should be able to take this inhibitor in the mid lane. Base broken, gold lead just exploding.
Yeah. 8,000 gold advantage right now. BDD this is where things get a little bit scary when you're T1.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's a flash
here.
onto Ruler. Kellen does have the Devour, so not going to be getting too much there, as it is going to be effort falling in the Death realm. Death's Grasp doesn't really do enough there, as that's a great knock-up coming out of Canna. My goodness, his performance today has been unbelievable. Bullet time just to stop anyone from helping out, as Canna in the front line, not going to be moved just yet. This inhibitor turret's going to go down as a bit of an afterthought. Gen G without their jungler or top lane, it means that T1 can keep pushing. It's a great stun. 2-man Facebreaker is glorious out of Kuz, and the knock-up from Canada follow up. This is going to be the end of the game. BDD with a 4-man ulti. It does not matter, because your Nexus is going to fall down. Only 2 kills on the side of Gen G, and T1 will reach ahead of them in the standings with a gigantic turnaround after that game.